Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, my beautiful hot messes. My name is Mistress Lavender, and welcome to my reading channel. If you're looking for regular content, I have another YouTube channel, A Beautiful Hot Mess. But if you're looking for my book, you are at the right place. We are reading The 40 Laws of Power. I'm on chapter 8. It's Make Other People Come to You, Use Bait if necessary. We are on page 65 on the last paragraph, all of us. Before we begin, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn your post notifications on because, let's face it, you're obsessed with me. Let's begin. All of us have only so much energy, and there is a moment when your energies are at its peak. When you make the other person come to you, he wears himself out, wasting his energy on the trip. In the year 1905, Russia and Japan were at war. The Japanese had only recently began to modernize their warships so that the Russian had a stronger navy, but by spreading false information, the Japanese Marshal Tago Hirayosho baited the Russians into leaving their docks in the Baltic Sea, making them believe they could wipe out the Japanese fleet in one swift attack. The Russian fleet could not reach Japan by the quickest route, through the Strait of Gibraltar and the Suez Canal into the Indian Ocean, because these were controlled by the British, and Japan was an ally of Great Britain. They had to go around the Cape of Good Hope at the southern tip of Africa, adding more than 6,000 miles to the voyage. Once the fleet passed the Cape, the Japanese spread another false story. They were sailing to launch a counterattack. The Russians made the entire journey to Japan on combat alert. By the time they arrived, their seamen were tense, exhausted, and overworked, while the Japanese had been waiting at their ease. Despite the odds and their lack of experience in modern naval warfare, the Japanese crushed the Russians. One added benefit of making the opponent come to you, as the Japanese discovered with the Russians, is that it forces him to operate in your territory. Being on hostile ground will make him nervous, and often he will rush his actions and make mistakes. For negotiations or meetings, it is always wise to lure others into your territory, or the territory of your choice. You have your bearings, while they have nothing familiar and are subtly placed on the defense. Manipulation is a dangerous game. Once someone suspects he is being manipulated, it becomes harder and harder to control him. But when you make your opponent come to you, you create the illusion that he is controlling the situation. He does not feel the strings that pull him, just as Napoleon imagined that he himself was the master of the daring escape and return to power. Everything depends on the sweetness of your bait. If your trap is attractive enough, the turbulence of your enemy's emotions and desires will blind them to reality. The greedier they become, the more they can be led around. The great 19th century robber baron Daniel Drew was a master at playing the stock market. When he wanted a particular stock to be bought or sold, driving prices up or down, he rarely resorted to the direct approach. One of his tricks was to hurry through an exclusive club near Wall Street, obviously on his way to the stock exchange, and to pull out his customary red bandana to wipe his perspiring brow. A slip of paper would fall from a slip of paper would fall from his bandana that he would pretend not to notice. The club members were always trying to foresee Drew's move, and they would pounce on the paper, which invariably seemed to contain an inside tip on the stock. Word spread around, and members would buy or sell the stocks in droves, playing perfectly into Drew's hands. If you could get other people to dig their own graves, why sweat yourself? Pickpockets work this to perfection. The key to picking a pocket is knowing which pocket contains the wallet. Experienced pickpockets often ply their trade in train stations and other places where there is a clearly marked sign reading "Beware of pickpockets." Passersby, seeing the sign, invariably feel for their wallet to make sure that it is there. Oh, for the watching pickpockets, this is like shooting fish in a barrel. Pickpockets have even been known to place their own "Beware of pickpocket" signs to ensure their success. When you are making people come to you, it is sometimes better to let them know you are forcing their hand. You give up deception for overt manipulation. The psychological ramifications are profound. The person who makes others come to him seems powerful and demands respect. Filippo Brunelleschi, the great Renaissance artist and architect, was a great practitioner of the art of making others come to him as a sign of power. On one occasion, he had been arranged to repair the dome of the Santa Maria del Fiore Cathedral in Florence. The commission was important and prestigious. But when the city officials hired a second man, Lorenzo Ghiberti, to work with Brunelleschi, the great artist brooded in secret. He knew that Ghiberti had gotten the job through his connections and that he would do none of the work and get half the credit. At a critical moment of the construction, then, Brunelleschi suddenly developed a mysterious illness. He had to stop work, but pointed out to city officials that they hired Ghiberti, who should have been able to continue the work on his own. Soon it became clear that Ghiberti was useless, and the officials came begging to Brunelleschi. He ignored them, insisting that Ghiberti should finish the project until finally they realized the problem. They fired G. By some miracle, Brunelleschi recovered within days. He did not have to throw a tantrum or make himself a fool. He simply practiced the art of making others come to you. If on one occasion you make it to a point of dignity that others must come to you and you succeed, they will continue to do so even after you stop trying. The image, the honeyed bear trap. The bear hunter does not chase his prey. A bear that knows it is hunted is nearly impossible to catch and is ferocious if cornered. Instead, the hunter lays traps baited with honey. He does not exhaust himself and risk his life in pursuit. He baits, then waits. Authority. Good warriors make others come to them and do not go to others. This is the principle of emptiness and fullness of others and self. When you induce opponents to come to you, then their force is always empty. As long as you do not go to them, your force is always full. Attacking emptiness with fullness is like throwing stones on eggs. Zhang Yu, 11th century commander on the art of war. Reversal. Although it is generally the wiser policy to make others exhaust themselves chasing you, there are opposite cases where striking suddenly and aggressively at the enemy so demoralizes him that his energies sink. Instead of making others come to you, you go to them. Force the issue. Take the lead. Fast attack can be an awesome weapon, for it forces the other person to react without the time to think or plan. With no time to think, people make errors of judgment and are thrown on the defense. This tactic is the obverse of waiting and baiting, but it serves the same function. You make your enemy respond on your terms. Men like Sierra Borgia and Napoleon use the element of speed to intimidate and control. A rapid and unforeseen move is terrifying and demoralizing. You must choose your tactics depending on the situation. If you have time on your side and know that you and your enemies are at least at equal strength, then deplete their strength by making them come to you. If time is against you, your enemies are weaker, and waiting will only give them the chance to recover. Give them no such chance. Strike quickly, and they have nowhere to go. As the boxer Joe Louis put it, he could run, but he can't hide. Oh, a boxer said that? Wow, what an iconic quote. You can run, but you can't hide. Shout out to that. Okay, so that's the end of page 68. So the next episode will be on 69. It'll be Law 9. Win through your actions, never through argument. So what a good book. This is a good book. It's just long. I barely scratched the surface. Yes, I'm using paper as a bookmark. But look at that. Look at where my paper is. And look at the book. I'm like 1/4 that. It's a good book. There's a lot of good gems in here. I understand why it's such a good national. Not even like a state bestseller. This is a national, worldwide. So shout out to Robert Greene. But yeah, I'm going to end the book there. We're on page 69 for next episode. But again, my name is Mistress Lavender. Thank you so much for joining my YouTube channel. Excuse the alarm. Leave me alone. But I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you later.